Hey Moon lovers, welcome to All Things Moon, lunar wisdom for everyday life. I'm Kelly Jones and I'm really excited to be sharing 30 plus years of teaching and guiding spiritual well-being. I figured I must have some wisdom to share with you all by now. As a moonologer, astrology yoga guide, and an astrologer in training, I'll be sharing all the things that save me from this crazy world we find ourselves in, and hope that in some way I can serve you in your life too. Hey Moon lovers, I'm back. I'm your host, Kelly Jones, and this is All Things Moon, lunar wisdom for everyday life. And I have been having everyday life. So I planned over Christmas time to, get some more episodes down. And I had, Happy New Year, everybody, by the way. It's only like the 20th of January and I finally got round to it. And it hasn't been procrastination. It truly has been that since New Year's Day, I actually was not too well. It's really unusual for me to be unwell. And I actually prefer to reframe it and say that my body has been repairing itself. And it obviously had some kind of toxins and, a lot of maybe a stress and emotion building up to Christmas time. It was the first time since 2019 that I'd spent Christmas Day with my own family. And so I was super excited about that and probably overgave, the Cancerian overgiving thing, and maybe a little bit of overindulgence, not too much. I did make sure that we all had organic vegetables on the day. I'm vegan, so there's a lot of stuff that I can't indulge in. So I was in charge of taking my own snacks and desserts and things. But I think in general, in the back of my mind, there was this little thought thinking, I really feel like I need to do a detox and some upgrades, some little habits I'd got into. I was just starting to notice how I was feeling, maybe not my super energetic self. My motivation was a little low. And, we can boil some of that down to some of the astrological aspects, but actually, on a practical, grounded, physical note, there were some things that I knew in the back of my mind that I needed to upgrade for myself. So I would say, compared to Joe Average, when I go to the supermarket and I have a sneaky peek in other people's baskets, I know that on the whole, in general, my health habits are, really, really good. What I consume and what I put in my body. So yes, I have got a fresh cup of coffee here. So we get our own organic beans and we grind them up fresh for our coffee. And I have got some medicinal mushroom powder in here as well to supercharge my coffee. I use a little bit of coconut sugar to sweeten it up. And so I do like my coffee, but it is a black coffee. There's no dairy in there. And if you're watching me on my YouTube video, then you can see my lovely little cup here, which was a Christmas gift. Have a sip of my coffee. But anyhow, come New Year's Day, I decided I was going to do some self-care, start my upgrade. I had signed up to do a winter writing retreat. So my own little winter writing sanctuary indoors with Beth Kempton. And I had managed a couple of days of that, and I was feeling, super excited at getting into writing again. And I decided to have a nice sacred bath with all my new products and candlelight. And whilst in the bath, I just thought, I don't feel quite right. And by the time it was time for bed, I had a bit of a temperature going, and that was it. For about 4 days, I really did nothing but lie down with a hot water bottle and every single herbal remedy that I have in the house. And I'm really glad that, being a part-time gardener with my partner Tom, I collect lots of herbs from either foraged from people's gardens or that I grow in my own garden. So I had mullein for my lungs, and I had yarrow to help me break my fever, and I had elderflower tea, really good for your immune system. I had echinacea and various other things, the honey, lemon, the ginger, which actually honey, lemon, and ginger is something that we have every single day. So our day starts with a mug of boiled water with organic lemons, organic ginger slices. I have some fresh turmeric in mine as well, and we always have some locally sourced honey in it. And we always think that keeps us really well. So it is about 2 years since I last had any kind of, cold type symptoms. And my priority was to take care of myself and be well enough to, one, go back to work with Tom, gardening and doing my moon ceremonies and things. But my priority on January the 13th was, I go to street dance classes throughout the year. That's my little thing. Tom likes climbing, and I am a dancer. And if you've listened to any of my other episodes, you'll know that's how I started out in life. And I was in a hip hop panto. So it wasn't your traditional pantomime. It was a hip hop street dance show, but done with a panto theme. So we had Spinderella, and our Venus was the baddie with her poisonous records. And my adults crew, we were the guardians of Spinderella. So we were guarding her from the poison Venus. So that was my priority, that I was going to be well enough to do the show. The show must go on, and the show did go on. We were sold out, full house, had my whole family there. I bought a whole row of seats for my friends and family to come and watch. So they got that for Christmas presents. And the mayor came along, and it was an absolutely fantastic show. But obviously there was quite a lot of rehearsals. I had all day rehearsals, so all my energy was being conserved for that. And I did have a little bit of time in between where I thought, right, I'm going to sit down and do a podcast. And of course, I'd woken up in the morning, and for 2 whole days, I had no voice at all. Really, really croaky. So here I am on the 20th. And what a day this is. So big astrological shifts. So 20th, we see the Sun and Pluto next to each other in a conjunction as they move from the very last degrees of Capricorn into Aquarius. Wow. Big, big stuff. The Sun is, it's our ego, it's our conscious mind, it's daylight, it's daytime, and it kind of represents, what we're doing in the world. And we've got Pluto there, which has been in Capricorn for the past 15 years or so, absolutely ripping to shreds anything that is Capricornian. So Pluto likes to dredge things up and reveal the truth. reveal what's been going on. Pluto is the lord of the underworld, Hades in mythology. And so what it's been doing is it's really been tearing down old structures. Remember that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. So anything Saturnian. So anything to do with systems, restrictions, rules, top-down authorities. We're seeing, the end of monarchies. I do believe there's a member of a royal family has just abdicated who said they never would. I think that was in the Netherlands. Don't quote me on that, but I think there is, we are seeing all those old, antiquated, outdated methods and ways and governments, all of that stuff, all the secrets and lies are being exposed, and we really are seeing the end of days with that. So we are coming to that final degree where the Sun and Pluto are holding hands next to each other as they move out of Capricorn into the sign of Aquarius. And they're going to be there now until September. And then in September, there's going to be a bit of a retrograde time where Pluto just takes himself back into Capricorn for a short time just to make sure the job is done. And then he'll be moving back into Aquarius, and there he will remain for the next 20 years. So when Pluto is in a sign, it is generational. So I was born in 1970. Yes, I know, I am that old. I know, I laugh every time I say my age. But anyway, in 1970, Pluto was in Virgo. So anyone in my generation would have Pluto in Virgo. So Pluto was doing its stuff around Virgo then. And Pluto takes 248 years to go round the whole of the zodiac. So it is a generational planet. It's the furthest planet away. So it has been sort of classified as a dwarf planet, but small but mighty, small and strong, small but very, very intense and powerful. And so, I feel like I've got a lot in common with Pluto. Anyway, I jest. So that's what's going on today and tomorrow. So we have got big energetic shifts. And then on the 25th, we have a full moon in Leo. So full moons are always in the opposite sign to where the sun is. So we've got the sun just moved into Aquarius right at the beginning of Aquarius. And we've got the moon in its fullness, in its brightness, in illumination, remembering that full moons are a time of culmination. It's when something is at its end. It's a good time for releasing, letting go, forgiveness, anything that's not serving you, that you don't want to take forwards with you. And that will be in the energy of Leo on the 25th. So the 25th this week happens to be on Thursday. Thursday nights are when I go to street dance. So nothing interferes with my street dance. Even my birthday, I would go to street dancing unless somebody's doing something amazing for me and taking me somewhere. I absolutely love my dance class. And that is with the Bam Bam Boogies non-for-profit street dance company in Chelmsford in Essex in the UK, giving them a little shout out. We need more adults in our crew, especially more men, please. Yeah, more men street dancers. But anyway, the reason I mention that is I would normally do a moon ceremony on the day of the full moon. But this week, because it falls on the day of my dancing class, it will be instead on the night before, on the 24th. So full moon ceremony online on Zoom with me, all you need to do is go to my website, which is www.kellyjones, that's KELLIEJONES, kellyjones.me. And you go to events on my website, click on there, and you'll see my online moon ceremony in Leo, and it's only £11 and 11p to join, and I'm with you for an hour and a half. And during that time, what we do is I hold it as if we're sitting in circle. I open it with an invocation, call in all the quarters, all the elements, call in the spirits and our ancestors, and then I deliver the lunar news to you. So what's going on? So I'll go much more in depth to the astrology of now and what that full moon represents. And actually this full moon is kind of being a little bit overshadowed by the whole Pluto in Aquarius thing. So I'll be telling you a lot more about that. And then what we will do is, once I've told you about what's going on, I share with you which crystals and herbs and potions will help you with the energy of that time. Then we will do a meditation, or I might tell you a story which helps your imagination to get fired up. And then we will do some journaling. And whilst you're journaling, I pull oracle cards, and it's always amazing to see what comes out. And then we do a full moon forgiveness and releasing ritual to round off. And then we share a little bit at the end. If you can't make it, so you can still book in, but if you can't actually make it to the live on Zoom, I do record it, so just let me know and I can send that to you. I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee. So that's what's happening this week. So full moon's a time for, sitting down and looking at what we don't want to take forward. And we are still in the beginning of 2024. On the new moon, which was in Capricorn new moon, Capricorn is a time for setting goals, making plans, getting a structure in place for something long term, which is sustainable and will last. It's that plod one step at a time up the mountain. So I've been looking at, going forwards in my career, what I can do to make this more sustainable, because in the past few years I have had lots of sort of one-off events and retreats, but nothing on a regular weekly basis. One of the things that I've just spoken to one of my regular attendees to moon ceremonies, and seems like everybody's been going through quite a lot of extreme highs and lows. So one of the things that I'm looking to do within my All Things Moon group on Facebook, I'm not on Facebook that much, but I'm going to utilize the fact that we have that group on there. And what I'm going to do is see who wants to do a regular weekly check-in. So that will be free. It will just be, a shorter time. It won't be an hour and a half or anything, but it will just maybe be a half an hour get together, have a check-in, and stay connected with each other. Because even though good things are coming, times are changing, we are still at that kind of the end of it, when everything's falling to bits and we just don't know. It's very much in that unknown at the moment. All the things that we very much relied on that were the same are coming to an end. We have this really futuristic Aquarius type energy coming in, and the best thing that we can do is be together and support each other. And I can share my wisdom, but you can also share yours, because we all have something to offer. So watch out for that starting to happen. So I'm going to be going into my All Things Moon group on Facebook to do a few surveys of when what times are good for that for you. And yes, so we'll really look at ways to connect. Now, I have had a question from somebody that I know, the lovely Anne Lee, who has a nutrition company. And she asked me a question about the moon's nodes this year and what effect they're going to have. So, nodes are points in the sky, so they are the moon's nodes. So they are called the north node and the south node. So in our own personal birth charts, if you get your birth chart done, so you can go to astro.com, put your date, time and place of birth in there. They are all relevant. So the nearest you can have, if you listen to my last episode, we talked about times of birth. So if you're not sure about that, go and listen to that episode and I tell you more about that and how to find that out and why it's important. Pop in, get your birth chart done, and you will be able to see where the north and the south node was when you were born. So that can help you to know when you look at your chart for where the nodes are now, to see how that might play out and affect you for where they are this year. So last year, the nodes move about once every 18 months, roughly. So they had been previously, last year we had the end of them being in Taurus and Scorpio. So the North Node was in Taurus, which represents the Earth. So I'm just going to talk about it collectively, how it affects us all on the Earth for now. So that's what you would call mundane astrology. And I am Sagittarius rising, so I like to give the big picture of things. And having your birth chart helps you to look more personally into it. And, as I'm doing my astrology training, I can, ask me questions and I will endeavour to find out for you about that. But on a general collective level, the North Node was in Taurus, which is to do with the Earth. Taurus represents all our luxurious things, money, agriculture, food, nice things, material things, practical things. And the South Node was in Scorpio. So the South Node is kind of our patterns, our karmic things, our ancestral things, but things that we want to leave behind, things that we're moving away from. The North Node is our purpose, where we're moving towards in our lives. So if you think that our sun sign is the plot line of our movie, the North Node is the purpose of what we're moving to, and the South Node is what we are, learning to move away from. It's kind of like our comfort zone as well. So Scorpio represented all that deep down, dark, toxic stuff that we wanted to leave behind. It does actually represent poisons and secrets and sexual things and kind of that underworld Plutonian stuff as well. It's Mars, it's ruled by Mars as well. So that gives you kind of a picture of where we were at. And then last year, those nodes moved from that into Aries and Libra. So the South Node is currently in Libra. So all things Libran is what we are now learning to move away from. And, when we work on our shadow stuff, something that we would want to move away from in the Libra, because we're not really talking about, we want to keep the good stuff, but things that are no longer serving us would be something like people pleasing, being a bit complacent, not wanting to rock the boat, making sure everybody's okay, but not really attending to your own needs. Not wanting to say what you really mean for fear of upsetting the others. That would be something that we are leaving behind. Thank the Lord of the underworld for that. And what we're moving towards is Aries. So remember, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the beginning. It's the pioneer. It's the leap of faith, the fool in the tarot. It's ruled by Mars. It's action. It can actually be warlike too. So yes, we are seeing signs. We are seeing war stuff. There's no point in not being realistic. But I'm not going to feed that beast. I'm not going to talk about war and all the bad stuff. That's not what my purpose is. So my purpose here is to find solutions and ways to feed the better story, to bring our awareness to better things, to use our imaginations to conjure up a better story, and to move away from feeding the fear. So I'm not saying it's not happening, but it's not what I'm going to be focusing on. I'm not going to be dragging us down into talking about war and stuff, but that is what is happening. So we are seeing that, but that has to play itself out for the end of something to happen. We need sometimes that death and rebirth of things. It's showing us, it's illuminating what needs to be sorted out, what to be moved away from, to start something new. So sometimes we have to see it. And I think, I really do like to think of it as looking at, if we are seeing all the dark stuff, it must be that there is more light here. Because the only way you can see all the crap in the back of the cupboard that needs clearing out is to put a light bulb in there, a bright light, so that you can see what's going on, so that it can be cleared out. And I like to think of it that way. So that's why we are seeing this more at the moment. I don't think it means there's more of it. It's just that we're more aware of it. And that is good, because that means that we can think of new, futuristic, Aquarian, freedom-loving, power to the people ways of doing things. And we are seeing that from the grassroots up. There are great things happening out there. So, North Node in Aries. Aries is I am. It's about, what about me? Yeah, what about me? It's about not caring so much what others think and saying it and doing it and going for it, taking that leap of faith. So that is what collectively we are headed towards this year. And further into the year, in September, we have got a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces, to give you an idea of what might be coming up next. And my North Node is in Pisces in my birth chart, so I'm going to be really focusing on that in my own chart to see, that's where I'm headed in my life, if you like, is into that spiritual place of Pisces in flow. So, North Node and South Node as well. Mythologically, if you look at it in the sky, it actually is represented by a dragon. So the North Node is the head and the South Node is the tail of the dragon. And we are, I believe, in this year of the Chinese wood dragon. So there is a lot of dragon energy around. So if you like, in the next episode, maybe we'll have a little bit of a look at what that dragon energy is representing for us, the flames coming out of the mouth. And recently I have been doing a meditation from a book called Money Magic, and it's about your money dragon. And I have this, in my imagination, I have this amazing dark blue dragon who's my money dragon, and he's beautiful, and we have formed a connection and a bond, and I fly around with my money dragon, and he's going and getting all my riches for me because I've now mastered my dragon. But anyway, maybe we'll talk about that on the next episode, because let my imagination run away with me. So just another couple of things I wanted to tell you about. I thought it was really useful. I keep hearing people talk about their word of the year. And I was like, what is my word of the year? Sitting there, I'm not quite sure, which is really funny. And I was talking to my friend yesterday who's living in Egypt at the moment temporarily. She's house sitting. I'm just going to press record and start recording again. Okay. So I'm back. Anything that was lost in there, I will endeavour to find the audio on my YouTube video and slot it into here. So apologies for any interruptions there in recording. So one of the things, so my word of the year, that's what I was talking about. And I was talking about the possibility that I might be going over to Egypt. And I really do feel like I need to get out of the small container that I've been in. I haven't left the country since 2020 when I was in Australia when COVID happened. And I felt like my world has become really small. And for a Sagittarius rising, that's really difficult. My Cancer loves it, loves being in its shell, but I really, really feel the need to break out. And on researching for the full moon in Leo, I can see that that is falling in my 9th house. And that is the 9th house of the great cosmic quest of getting perspective, of travel. So, it's no surprise that the energy of this full moon is coming up for me now. And my friend is called Clarity. And I said to her, I don't have clarity here. And I realized that that is my word for the year that I'm going to be focusing on. And a lovely spiritual psychic friend of mine, she always sends me little messages. And at the beginning of this year, she did send me a little message just saying, your words of the year are focus and concentration. So hence my medicinal mushrooms in my coffee to help me with my focus and concentration. But clarity is something that I need. Because when I was setting all this up here, I realized that, I do need my glasses quite often to look at the screen. When this ring light is on, I don't see so well. And another funny thing that happened is I bought all Moonology diaries. I bought one for myself quite early on, and I bought some as Christmas gifts for my friends. And then when I went to get mine, I realised I'd given my one away as a Christmas gift. So I didn't have one. And it made me realise how much I relied on it. So it's been quite good for me in a way to make myself learn some stuff off by heart instead of relying on my Moonology diary. But I did actually order myself this cute little thing from It's the Magic of I. So if you're on my Spotify, sorry you can't see that, but the Magic of I, it's a little astrological moon journal, and it comes with a journal and a moon diary and lots more. I mean, it's even got medicinal mushrooms for zodiac signs in here. It comes with a little moon calendar as well, but they only had the mini one left. They'd sold out the big one. So even this I don't see very well. I have to shine a bright light on it with my glasses. So it's making me realise that I need to go and get my eyes tested again as well, so I can see clearly. So clarity, that is my word. What's your word? Let me know what your word for this year is. And just one more thing to let you know about. Pluto moving into Aquarius. It's such a big subject that even on the full moon in Leo ceremony on Wednesday, on the 24th of this month, I won't have time within that to really elaborate on the Pluto and Aquarius. So I am going to do an extra bonus little masterclass on that. So watch out for that. I think it's going to be maybe on the last Sunday of the month. And so just go to either onto my Facebook page, All Things Moon, or my Kelly Jones page, Kellie, Kelly Jones, on Facebook, or on Instagram, I'm All Things Moon Kelly. So that's at All Things Moon Kelly on Instagram, so that you can see any announcements that are coming up for that Pluto in Aquarius. Just a little workshop that we'll do where you can ask me some questions, and can't guarantee I know all the answers because I'm still an astrologer in training, and but I endeavour to, what I try to do and what I hope to do is make it realistic, grounded. I am from Essex, so yes, I am deep and intense like Pluto, but I am also, very grounded and like to talk the truth and give you it in a realistic way. So hopefully that has answered some of your questions, and I'm just glad to be here talking to you all again. And I promise it will not be so long between now and the next episode, because my intention is to do this weekly. So, just practice making perfect. Thank you for listening, and let me know what your word for this year is. Let me know if you've got any comments or questions. You can leave them below, either on my YouTube channel or on my Spotify channel or any of my social media pages. And yep, happy January, everybody. And I will be, take it easy, stay calm, get on your yoga mat, do some meditation, breathe. And I will see you all soon.